This King Jams of the
You start talking, try to lure people in.
Come on. Come all of you.
You know you want to.
Dude, I don't know how you fucking do that.
That was really awesome.
That's mind-blowing.
I apologize.
This looks like I'm drinking my own pee.
I was going to say that actually, but I didn't know.
Kevin Costner, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna water world it up.
That's not a good sign if we're doing a water world.
What do you guys think of Kojo Kondo? I happen to think he's incredibly overrated. Zelda, Mario.
Oh.
No, I think he's a genius.
Like,
so?
Yeah.
he sticks to the core melodies. He's good at doing things that, like, if you're gonna hear some like 10 seconds of audio over and over for hours,
He's
that's
good at
what he's good
function.
at. You know. Like,
True.
He makes functional music.
yeah.
One of the best arguments I've ever used in my own when I do Zelda panels is like, to me, it just seems like a total failure of imagination that the dark world of the future has the same music as the present.
Right.
All the space limitations and
Yeah.
cartridge crap.
Yeah.
Become a sound engineer. Become like Yuzo. He was amazing the things he could do with limited technology. You know, both on the NES and the Genesis. So.
Yeah.
But it's true, when you were going from the Sony chip in the SNES to what they had in the N64, I could definitely imagine that as a massive comeback.
It's really fun to find games that Yuzo Koshiro did that pretty much go on forever. Like, I just came across
Welcome.
Look who it is. It's the blast process.
Recently, one thing people don't seem to be aware of is the tracks that
Everyone
have
get
been
ready
hero.
for some blast processing.
Yeah,
he did music for that?
not all of it, but he was in the credits. It's the one that's most recognizable during the Princess game, you know, when you gotta keep her on the carpet. Yeah, and I was like, this sounds like him, and sure enough, in the credits, that was his name.
Yeah.
You know?
Ori, how are you? I haven't seen you
I love
since
that thing here.
gone here. I think.
I know. I
It's
saw
not as
you
much as
briefly
like
on
say
my way
Smash
up to
Bros.
the
Where
room
pretty much every composer
like
there
a
is,
while
but
ago.
there's quite a few
Yeah.
of them that are
Where
really
they go?
Didn't they?
How was the trip down here?
Oh,
man.
man.
Cable was
Yeah,
like, I think it was like super
My flight kept on getting delayed and delayed.
Maybe, I don't honestly know.
And then once I got here,
They did,
I
I
tried to use a bank machine
Because
and
NC's been
my
releasing
bank
stuff on
froze
Steam
my
on
bank
PC
account.
games, which,
Yeah,
that people can
just because I was in
Yeah.
the States and they were like,
Those
randomly,
games
it's like,
are-
oh, this card's still
Delgada's
Yeah.
unbelievably
So
good.
it's the number
I think RetroWare showed it best when they were showing
Have you gotten
the
back?
beats.
That
of
may
the
be
Final
something to
Fantasy,
do with it.
And then they transitioned to
Did you,
the score for the original
did you
piece.
call them already?
It's like
Mhm.
same year. It's
Oh, it's all
amazing.
sorted. But it was, that's just like too much stress because I was going to take
Well, they
the
do
bus
it in a
here.
regular one of their very
And I
first
had no
videos
money,
about
which
the
is
history of
probably
Alpha.
my failing
And
of
just the
not
way they
getting American
contrast
money
that,
before
like,
coming
similar
here.
sounding technology.
You know,
I still go
Yeah.
back and watch
Yeah.
that video that John D did.
Yeah,
It's great.
we're on the site. We should know some of this stuff.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that video, and not just because you know
Alright, so we got
he's
5
very
minutes. I'm going
humble
to take
about
another
it,
pee because I just
because you know he
feel
wishes
like
he
I
could
was
be
taking a pee
edited,
now.
but I think it was
Halfway through the
great.
panel, I'm going to be like, Jerry, take over. Yeah,
We have time for no questions.
yeah, exactly. I will answer all your questions in the back.
We're gonna video conference him in.
Just bring the microphone with you and all here is like a stupid
Oh, God.
But I do remember.
You know, I was thinking of that for my live streams of putting my extra, wait, my extra camera in the bathroom, right where, like,
You can only see a headshot.
no, yeah, just the person's face, so you just see, like, the pain face.
Want to hear a Yuzo piece you probably never heard of?
Yuzo, eh?
Okay, well, it's, and of course iTunes is freezing up.
I haven't been able to connect to Spotify or something.
Well, the internet's, you have to pay for everything.
No, I've been on 4G, it's just I can't get on the signal.
When, oh, there it goes. Don't betray me now. This is from the Dragon Slayer series.
Oh,
And this is not the original NES, but it's only been slightly enhanced by a guy named DJ Access. By far the best NES music there is. I don't think even anything comes
NES,
close.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's again because Yuzo was a sound engineer. He knew how to make it work.
I think that,
It's not an amazing game, but the music is.
I know the voice acting is terrible. Oh, that's in the Saturn version, right?
Oh, like the original Dragon Slayer for
Oh, that game, yeah. This is
Turbo.
the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
The way this came out was Legacy of the Wizard. That's what it's called in the U.S. I call it Dragon Slayer because when he came to MAGFest 12, I referred to it as Dragon Slayer. It's like, yep, he knew right away what I was talking about. It's true. If you said Legacy of the Wizard, you'd be like, what is that? You know, just some random name they assigned to it. It's like, there's no wizards in that game. But yeah, he's one I admire the most.
Oh,
We're doing the jam space now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yo.
No, come back.
so 5 minutes in this panel will begin. Until then, talk amongst yourselves.
Are there any
All
other
six,
things you
yes.
think are overrated? Or like maybe
games.
you just don't like?
That's a tough.
Video games or otherwise, I guess.
Otherwise, there's a massive list.
Yeah, okay, video games.
Like that's a gigantic question. Video games.
James?
I've honestly not been crazy about Tommy Tallarico stuff.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's,
am I like
It's alright,
drinking
but
beer or something?
I don't know the color of
I think
sprites.
Max.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, it's what else fermented out there? I often forget what he didn't see. Oh, Earthworm Jim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot.
Spot,
you did Spot?
Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, all that's good.
I mean, he's really good at making music that fits the game
Is that out?
perfectly, but like, none of it really sticks.
The one that surprised me the most when it comes to like knowing sound technology was Hip Tanaka, the guy who did Metroid. He did a good amount of Earthbound, and that's what really surprised me because I do not think most of Earthbound's music is very good. And if there was one person,
Oh, you're speaking to the wrong person.
okay, fine, we'll do that. But how could you possibly like Master Belch's theme? It's a bunch of random sound effects.
Yeah, but I think that's the
characters.
point.
You're not supposed
Like
to
there's
like it.
dissonance and then there's
There's-
noise.
Oh yeah, it's totally absurd. Is the
That's the
other
point. It's
thing.
an absurdist game.
Yeah.
Surrealism.
Ever seen that video of Yoko?
It's not all bad. I mean, I
Yeah,
like some of it.
that doesn't make it good music.
No.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You know, at the same time.
But it's not representative of the sound.
I think just like when you say like Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, I don't think so. I don't think they're even close.
I'm gonna move a seat over here.
No, that's totally a good point.
I don't
Totally
miss the game. I just
I
like
know,
that people
I just
would like Mother 1 and 3 as much. you know,
Well,
but
they're
they-
all good. They just have different kind of focuses.
Yeah.
Mother one's focus is random encounters all the time.
Yeah.
What is Elite Random?
More than anything, what I like about Mother 1 is you get to choose your party at the end.
That's
There's no
good.
such thing in the second game.
No, you don't. Mother one?
Yeah.
You're stuck with Lloyd, Anna, and.
I forgot exactly how you do it, but you can get the bully or something before you go to Mount Toy and by, it's not a glitch, it's something, and I found that, or you can never get the girl, it's like just little things.
Yeah, there are parts of the game you can skip over. I forgot about that. But I'm too
Say-
lazy. to
sorry,
watch
what's your
it.
name?
I'm all over.
James.
It's Francis and Tim.
Francis.
Francis Jones. Francis A. Clark.
So,
That's Jeremy and David.
2 more minutes and we begin.
It doesn't suck.
Who else do you like?
Maybe if we throw out some Duke Nukem, some old tracks and people think we're.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be like, hey, Johnson.
Yeah,
he did the other room.
Exactly the same time.
Oh, no, we're not.
Yeah, I know. Yes, that's the reason, God damn that John Sajan.
Wait, John said John has a panel?
Right now.
What have you done? Yeah, we got fucking better than Duke Nukem. We got Dr. Saturnology. Actually, wait, save the voice.
Oh, you're doing that one?
Curse and catch it.
So what is the worst scenario? Oh yeah, I'm not sure they'll
You
come
can't-
out at the same time as mine.
I'll tell you what isn't the worst Saturday game. It's virtual highlight.
Nah!
I can't get up Saturday. You know, that's an interesting discussion. The popular answer nowadays is the Wii, but I often think it's the Game Boy Color. When it comes to how many games and the ratio of good to bad, I think it's the Game Boy Color. The worst games on it. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen games. You know,
The Ninja Red Band comes along and counts as knowledge that exists.
there's a lot of crap on the Wii, but there's also a lot more games.
I've seen the Saturn compared to the GameCube a lot.
Yeah, I can see
The
that.
first party support.
I saw an interesting podcast. I couldn't remember
That's
it.
the closest thing to saying you're not my son.
Hardcore consoles ever. You got the casual stuff like Ogama, but you also got very horseshit before.
No,
you got
that's
very,
true.
you know, unintentional show. The experiments are really right all over the place. Right. Come on.
Look who it is.
Welcome.
Look who showed up.
We bring the
You
pate.
held the show for us, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, the blast processors. All right, let's start this up. David, would you like to intro the panel?
Chris is most likely like having sex.
Your doctor's had voice and whatever.
Just say some sexy things.
This is the Epic Game Music Band. Starring
I'm turned up.
Mr. Epic James and the Epic Armpits.
We are the armpits.
Thank you everyone for coming to the Epic Game Music panel. My name is James and I do a show on Retroware called Epic Game Music. I just wanted to load up my PowerPoint. Don't look at it yet because there's some spoilers in there. But yes, here we go. Who here is not familiar with Epic Game Music at all?
It's a Canadian thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's totally a Canadian thing. So instead of explaining what I do, I thought I'd just show you.
The Zelda's Lullaby video?
Oh, come on. Full screen, son. Hold on.
Press that.
Press your F.
Stealing my bit, James.
Fucking awesome.
Get ready.
That one scene of me looks ridiculous when I'm swaying back and forth.
I love that AJ still saw it.
I love how people were passing by the door and looking in and they're like, what? Alright, so you guys basically get the gist. Woo! Basically, I make covers of video game music, epic, and then I go out into a park and dance. As it's best been described as.
Sometimes.
Don't leave me hanging on this Sugar Hill Gang MP3 you got in your desktop.
Yeah, exactly. That's coming up. That's coming up. All right. So my fellow panelists right here from Retroware TV, Mr. Jeremy. What's your last name? Who are you?
You just kind of like grabbed me off the street and told me, hey, man, you want to be in a panel?
Yeah, exactly. Please explain what you do.
Okay, yeah, my name is Jeremy Pierce. I am actually the co-editor-in-chief of RetrowareTV.com's article section. I'm here just as a close friend of James because he's awesome, and I want to be awesome with him.
Oh, now we're close friends. I see how it is. You wouldn't talk to me the entire day.
Hold on.
Is that like...
What's James' last name?
Music?
Yeah, I'll go with music.
Is that like Penthouse's article section?
Amazing. And right next to him is Mr. David from Saturnology, or Dr. Saturnology as he is right now. Can you give us an example of your sexy voice for a second?
That's what I meant.
Now, in your real voice, for contrast, explain to us what you do.
I make videos about Saturn games because no one else does.
Yeah! Bernie
Matrix is great. Yes.
Literally no one.
Yes.
Google Saturn Games, and it's all.
I love Sugata Sanshiro.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you're the best. This is the best audience you could possibly have.
And joining us is the blast processors in the audience.
His name tag literally says Saturn on it.
There's no accounting for US cases, those are just awful.
There you go. Anyways, so we are here to talk about game music at some point, but first I have some things to show you. Let's start out with a segment I like to call Me vs. Madness. Now, who here has a Wii?
Wait, in the anatomical sense? Or?
Yeah, let's go with that. Two, does that count? Wait, you have two dicks. Is that what you just?
That was a defect I don't like to talk about.
Two dick Jeremy. So yeah, basically it's me versus Nintendo's social network on the Wii U. And the platform is through drawing, which they come up with amazing things. Like, I'll just give you an example. Like, that's pretty good. Given this is me taking a cell phone photo of my gamepad. So the quality's kind of degraded there. And
Did you get a white Wii U?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, this is like a zoomed in.
Okay.
And like, look at that. Like, it looks like a photo almost. Someone drew that on their Wii U gamepad.
What?
Like, how amazing is that?
What?
How good?
Now, on the counterpoint to that, you have stuff like this.
That's not a photo.
I'm not seeing the counterpoint.
And
You're reading Rory's dream journal.
that's what we're here to talk about for a bit. And given I'm not laughing at people's art, that's not what we're doing. We're laughing with them, because no one would draw that without thinking it's funny. I think. I could be wrong. So yeah, what do you two think of that photo?
Luscious.
I'm not convinced that's his tail.
Incredible. Alright, let's move on to our next Weaver's post. Now this, people try and sneak in dicks in a variety of creative ways. This one I found the laziest.
The rocket ship dick's been done to death.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, now I see it.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Everyone loves rockets.
Sometimes a rocket ship is just a rocket ship. Now this is Wait. Good luck sleeping tonight.
You were. It's a magic iPhone. You'll find it eventually.
Running with that theme, let's move on to the next Weaver's post. This is also Princess Peach.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Her body is really, really long.
I'm not convinced that's her tail.
So good. Alright, so this is Jace from Pokemon. And I understand this is controversial, but okay, when I tweeted this actually went viral. It got picked up by bad Meverse posts on Twitter, and it just like ran with it and got like thousands of retweets. But yeah, you can understand why. Who would make that? Alright, so this is Toad.
Oh,
This is the end of Toad.
No, that's sad. That's kind of cute.
It's both, yeah, cute and depressing.
It's delicious.
Let's just not lie about this.
This is Miyamoto's secret fantasies at night, so.
Mamma Mia unit. Everyone groaned internally.
On stage.
Well, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, this is the same as the Toad one, but that much more scary and depressing. Welcome to all the new people, by the way. Welcome to the Epic Game Music panel. David, give them a taste of your voice.
Welcome to the Epic Game Music panel. Starring Matt Johnson Joe.
Alright, we're looking at Mever's post right now.
You
So
collected all the Pikachu.
gotta catch them all. Now, what would you call this? Alright, Piccolo or Gochu?
Oh,
Freeze it, you asshole.
Chusa?
Do you even watch the animation?
I've seen
Please, Joe.
Naruto.
Alright.
Moving on. Alright, so this is Ludwig von Koopa, and I'm not sure who that is.
That's
That's
actually
actually
WarioWare.
From what?
That's actually from WarioWare.
WarioWare.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an uncomfortable
OTP.
image. I would like to write my congressional representative.
It's a 10-year-old girl with a diamond
Call
collar.
yourself a kid.
Does she have
Yeah,
a
nothing
cookie necklace? Is that what that's supposed to mean?
We also
I don't know.
I think that's his hand.
Moving on, alright, so this one says, this is the shadow being that my boyfriend and I saw 2 years ago.
So you played Limbo.
Yeah, why wouldn't you call the X-Files?
Why didn't you
Like,
add that
don't
post?
post it on Universe.
Like, are those uncommon? I see those every day.
That's a horrible waste of black ink.
That's my dad.
This is the really weirdest case of viral marketing I've ever seen for Shadow of the Colossus. So
That is the shadow. Okay, I just hit myself in the teeth with a
I repeat
microphone.
those words.
Your teeth probably just.
Okay. Alright, moving on. This is Rosalina. Now it's kind of hard to tell because it's blurry, but she's burned down the castle and that tree.
Yeah.
So that's
What the
kinda
tree
tough.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen Avatar, I know.
Now, here's one very important thing about Weavers. No one can draw Link in a normal way. Okay, this is fun. This is really cool.
I thought that was Raphael Legolas too.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was Mr. Orlando Bloom.
After a car crash.
That is. Link passed.
How many umlauts?
Sorry, Orlando Bloom.
It's Link after an acid attack.
Dude, are you ripping on Orlando Bloom?
I'm dead.
Anyway, so here's one.
That was my first question. Why butter lettuce? So many other options.
What is butter lettuce and why is it in a bag?
What is butter lettuce?
Why is he too lazy to take up his cuffs when he's something else?
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
I can't wait to bomb some of the dog.
What are all those heads?
This salad. By the way, this panel is turning out exactly the way I wanted it. Moving on. So yes, this is swag. And he's saying, I'm beautiful, and I agree.
It's almost hand drawn.
Alright, so I think the next one coming up is probably the best one, so get ready. Deal with that. Okay, one thing about Weavers is it's heavily moderated, like you cannot post anything like lewd at all, and somehow this was like featured on the main page. Given it is art, but like, come on here. This gentleman got banned from Weavers. Come up and tell us about, grab a microphone and tell us why you got banned from Weavers.
So, I am also a writer and editor for Retroware, and I wrote in my profile, hi, these are games I'm playing, Persona 4, Mario Kart, whatever, and I write for Retroware, here's the link. They banned me literally like an hour after that, because I shared an outside website, and because Persona 4 is not on Nintendo, so it's not that.
Oh.
It took like 3 weeks for them to actually look into it, and then send me a message saying, you gotta do something, and I'm like, a month after that to say, oh, that was our bad, right?
Yeah, but yeah, you can like put something like that up, but he can't talk about Persona.
Is Seifa, does he have like a fucking C-section going on there? That's an uncomfortable advocate.
Okay, I didn't include any like mpreg in this because it just gets too bizarre. Like, I fought hard, but yes.
Reverse entry.
Weavers mpreg. It is a thing. Alright, so do you have any questions?
Several.
Yes.
Yeah, I have many.
Just on Weavers now. We'll save the Q&A for later.
Where's Mario? Okay,
Who groomed your mustache?
as someone who actually does not own a Wii U,
You're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. Yeah.
glass processor, man. Come on.
Whatever, Nintendo owns Sega or whatever now.
More or less.
Genesis does.
Sega was Atlas.
Stay in the console business.
I don't even remember my question.
All right, whatever. Let's move on. All right, so photoshops. People send me ridiculous photoshops all the time, and I ask people for this panel to send me some of my subscribers, and so let's take a look at some of the best of them. So let's start kind of light. There's an orchestra.
James, I don't think this is Photoshop. I think that's
That's me. Well, it's weird. I kind of got this like no neck thing going on in this one. I know. What's your thought, Mr. or Dr. Savanology? What's your thought on this one?
I got nothing.
All right, so let's move on.
James, I don't think these are Photoshop. I think these are actually photos I took from your personal album.
This one looks like someone like cut it out. Like they they took an actual photo and like taped it on. All right, moving on. That one's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, Epic Gamers. Spoilers. You should have been watching the stream the other night.
James is
anyways.
the hot dog.
Here's Epic Song. I'll just let that sink in for a moment. No, it's staying up
I
there
got
for
so many
like
questions.
10 more minutes. It's staying up there.
I got it.
Where's the G? Oh, the Kong.
All right. So this is pretty good. Someone did that. That's Shane Lewis from Re-Res, by the way. Oh yeah, if someone has a cell phone and has his Twitter, tweet that to him. Take a picture of that. No, take a picture of it and send it to him. And hold on, I'm just gonna hold out my middle fingers for him.
Yeah, I gotta pull my camera out because Android sucks.
Put a bird on it. 3, 2. Actually, that looks like you're filleting that mic.
Oh. Got it.
But it fits the meter stuff.
Alright, let's move on to self-indulgence here. Alright, this is someone. That's me in the background as Tuxedo Mask. That's other people, but whatever. We don't know who those people are.
Those are not all women.
I don't know. We'll see. The test of time. We'll decide that. All right. So the next one is probably the big one, and
Wow. Damn.
Again, I don't
Girl,
see
look at
how
that
this is
body.
Photoshop.
now shout out to this gentleman who made this one and a lot of those. His name is Earthworm Joe, and he's probably the world's biggest troll. You'll probably see him trolling a lot of hidden block people and stuff like that. But he's that good at Photoshop. I don't know if that counts as good, but he's funny. You know, it's really effective.
You matched with Pink.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, all right, so let's move on to the lightning round. Cat pictures for life. So basically, we're gonna ask you guys questions, and put up your hand if you know the answer, and you might win a prize on some of these questions. So I'll start out with the first question, and put up your hands after. Don't just scream it out. Who wrote the music to Silver Surfer?
Oh, come on.
Tim Fall.
Nicely done. No prize, because that's easy. Jeremy, read the next one down if it's spelled and grammar corrected properly, because some of them are just terrible. And the answer is right after, so after the question mark, don't read that. Very important.
I'm so glad you told me that.
Who wrote the music for Battletoads?
Dave Watts.
Correct.
I do a prize
Stop.
somewhere. Where the fuck are they?
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, can you pass me that back there?
Oh yeah, sure.
Don't do it, those are the prizes.
That was your prize right there. Getting the backpack.
Surprise.
I want to hear this Saturn voice question.
Yeah.
Don't let me down.
Super Mario Brothers, the third. Which levels the world one have the warp whistles?
Actually, let's go with this comment. Yeah.
1, 3 in the fortress.
Yes, correct. Pass that back.
I don't know shit about Mario.
You don't know shit about Mario 3.
You don't
He's a
count
Sega
Mario
guy.
as the best one.
Yeah, he's a Sega guy. What's with you Sega guys?
It's an adjunct.
You know, do you play bass?
be the last processor.
If I tried, but.
Alright, so where were we? Okay. Name all 4 of Earthbound's main characters.
Oh,
Wait,
Sonic, Sonic, Sonic.
And Ness, Paula, Pooh, and
Taco.
I think that's his last name, but it's Jack.
Yes. Why not? Let's go
The
there.
inimitable.
It's not. Wait, sorry, you said Jack?
Jeff.
Okay, here you said Jack.
So what about my favorite thing? Can I say my favorite thing 4 times?
Yes.
Yes?
Sega.
I approve. Can I
Yeah.
give 5?
By the way, go check out the Blast processors online. They make very good Sega Sega.
Sonics.
Yeah. And press start to play. Alright, so moving on. This one.
This is a very long lightning round.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's getting there. Wait, how much time do we have right now?
It's more of a slow burn.
Dude, you got 40 minutes.
Yeah, so it's not such a long lightning round, David. Whatever. Jeremy, you're the same guy. Alright, so starting from that. Okay, this one you win a retroware button if you get it.
What year did Mega Man 3 come out in North America?
1990.
Correct.
Free button. Okay, the next one you have to pass it back to me because I jotted that down when I might have been drunk. And I might be drunk now. Okay, one lucky Nintendo Power Reader got a room named after them in Link to the Past. What is the name of that room?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this guy.
Chris Houlihan.
Chris Houlihan.
Don't tell anybody
Uh,
about the room.
It's a secret to everything.
You get a poster that I got at a sketchy mall. It's totally fake, but that's great. Alright, David.
I would take me back.
Can you do Billy D. Williams?
Did you say who the hell is Billy D. Williams?
I only know
I know you're 13, but shit.
Where does Space Harrier take place?
Fantasy Zone.
Gotta raise your fucking hands! Actually, actually, it's not. Wait,
You are some
all right. Wait, pass it back.
It actually is.
How did I misspell it? Hold on.
Fantasy Zone.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Fantasy Zone. Wow.
Julian, I'm sorry. That's just what the sheet says.
Welcome to Fantasy Zone.
All right. So this one
What the
is.
sad fucking Price's Right sound.
This one is for an Epic Game Music CD with 30 songs on it. How many cheat codes are there in GoldenEye 64?
And it's the power of 2.
Anybody?
Buttons or
There's 24 levels.
All of which are not.
Anyone? Just take a guess. Start shouting out numbers. All right, wait, I'll start with the guy in the back.
24.
Yeah. Very close.
25.
Very close, dude.
26.
23.
There you go.
because the first level.
That was for a button, but since it took so many things.
$1.
Yeah, exactly, $1. Alright, moving on. The Final Fantasy IV. Oh yeah, that's supposed to be ARM, by the way. I think it just says ARM on it. Once again, I wrote this both wrong, so.
Alright. In Final Fantasy IV, what is the name of the flying arm of Baron called?
Actually, I'll go with Julian.
The Red Wings of Baron.
Very good.
That is correct.
I know my shit.
Pass it down.
Jesus. I don't think it goes around.
Just read the question first to make sure it's
Makes sense.
Quiz me.
What is the most important game of all time?
What literary work for 4 feet from?
Well, that's weak.
let's go with this guy. I don't know who you are.
In the game?
No, you put up your hand, didn't
No.
you? You? Alright, whatever. Yes.
Those
Tetris.
And you spelled it right.
I get a button for that. Alright, so, okay. This is an interesting one. Okay, what is the title of the song played in the Mana Fortress in Secret of Mana?
Oh,
You can go.
Mana Fortress.
Story of my life.
You must answer.
damn it. It's got a really odd name, I just remember that.
Anybody?
Can you give me a hint?
Oh man.
The first word is leave.
Oh, Leave Time for Love.
Yeah. I was totally gonna be a CD dude, but okay. How many endings are there in Chrono Trigger?
What is 13?
I also would have accepted 21.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, here, take the pen.
There's
No,
a
come
slight
on here.
variation.
Come here and take it from me. Alright, so yeah, apparently there's some debate because some of the endings have variation.
But the variations are such bullshit.
There you go. And so the controversy continues.
Well, one sprite is missing in this end.
Wait, say that into the mic.
I said RPGs are bullshit because I can't get into them.
David, has anyone ever told you that? Bullshit.
Okay,
I play Sega arcade games, that's all I'm good at.
And Guardian Legend.
is there a single RPG on the Sega Saturn?
Yeah.
Virtual Highlight is not canon.
That is not an RPG.
How is it not an RPG? You're-
Guardian Legend.
Saga.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's no fantasy.
Well, yeah, there's Saga, there's Shine in the Dark.
Shiny, and technically Guardian Legend is an RPG.
Max of Night Rare.
That's this guy.
And all of them suck, so that's RPGs.
Remember,
Look, we have the best version of Street Fighter the movie, the game.
that is so true. I always brought that one. So to tell people that game is not that bad.
Solana's my favorite
If
character.
you want to know the Saturn is the best, just go look in over in the arcade game. They have X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Retroware TV, we flame the fires and console wars that have been over.
Yeah, exactly.
Iron.
One interesting thing about console wars, for some reason I have a dislike for Sega, and that reason is because of the friggin' commercials back in the day, between Nintendo and Sega. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, so what that Sonic the Hedgehog is a mediocre platformer? Whatever, that doesn't mean anything, you know?
Sonic 2, that's all.
Sonic 3 if you're gonna claim Sonic. Also, Michael Jackson wrote the music.
Wow,
That's a compliment.
No, he secretly wrote the music apparently.
Wait, what?
Did you know that?
Yes, he did.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
That's
Alright, Michael Jackson.
Did you know that Sonic Pretty Blast on the Genesis never came out in Japan?
Yeah.
Like only the Saturn version.
Oh no, what a shame.
Because it's in a
I
video,
know,
right?
I prefer the Genesis one because it got better music.
What? No. Ugh. It's true, it's true.
Alright, so we're talking about video games here. Hold on. It's like we're at a video game convention. Okay, so second last question, and you get whatever I've left. How many Virtual Boy games were released in North America?
I believe I think it's 14.
God damn. Alright, every game is like CD and yeah, that's it.
Take the poster away from that guy and give it back.
That was an easy question, if anything. Okay, so the next question is, who has 2 thumbs and is ready to move on to the Q&A part of the panel?
Yeah.
Alright, so, questions. Ask the 3 of us anything, or we could just talk about video game music.
Do you like cats?
Yes. Go.
Was that a question?
Ears so tufty.
What color is
Breathe, man.
Cat. You kill him.
Are you alright, Nick? Nick, come up here and sit here for a minute. Come up here.
Everybody, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
So that's what you guys look like from up on this pedestal.
Yes. Thank you for stepping out of your ivory tower to come join us.
Next question, if there is a question. Go ahead.
What color is an orange?
Purple.
That's no answer.
That's existential. Anyone got any more questions? Go on.
Where are all those crazy locations in which you film your epic game music videos?
That is in Toronto, Canada.
Where's that?
Are there any other bands from there?
Do you want to? All right, fine. Do you guys want to talk about your Sega band?
No, I was trying to get you to say like shit about Casa Loma and cool shooting locations.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's.
Oh yeah, totally. No, yeah. Actually, drink that. I'm punishing him. Or I'm punishing you by making him drink. Yeah, no, Toronto is like probably the best place to film. That's why all the movie studios film up there. It looks like so many cities, and like 5-minute walk from any place looks totally different, scenic. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
I have a question for you. Why do you feel the need to defend virtual highlights so badly?
So here's the thing about virtual highlight. It sucks ass, first of all, but it's got this weird endearing thing about it. I don't know. It looks like shit. It plays like shit, and I kind of like it for that.
Follow up.
That's the question.
Okay.
You feeling okay, David? You feeling okay? Talk about
We'll talk about this.
David, do you drink?
Kind of sort of.
All right, take a hoot out of that.
Look, he's so friendly. He's friendly.
Just pretend.
It's emo. He loves you. He's your friend.
He makes all the bottom soil.
All right, any more questions? Yeah.
Sounding good. Do you think the sound actually was hard to program for, or programmers were just lazy?
I mean, so I actually looked into this, and so I looked at an example for the original Tomb Raider. That
Because Capcom sure seemed to figure it out.
oh, because they mainly did 2D stuff, and apparently 2D was really easy on there. And so the way that they program the original Tomb Raider is that they can wrap, they can take like a 3D model and then wrap the textures around it pretty easily. But for the Saturn, they actually had to like put the textures on individual parts, and also the fact that they couldn't do like squares or triangles. I forget which one it was. They could, yeah, triangles and then. Oh, yeah.
No, you didn't get it. Go on, whatever. Talk about it. Just talk about triangles.
Can I legitimately
No, I was really actually done.
So I've been doing graphics programming for over 10 years, and in the games industry. And the Sega Saturn was a very intricate piece of hardware. And at the time, people were working on what's called basically the graphics chip in the PS1 was a proto Power VR. So we have the graphics chip is powering the iPhone right now and the iPad. The predecessor to that powers the PS1. The Saturn, however, Sega struck this like nepotistic deal with a side spin-off company, and as a result, nobody in North America knew how to work with their graphics chip because all their documentation is entirely in Japanese. At the time of launch, they're like, here's this Japanese company with a proprietary chip that no one knows how to deal with. Work with it. Here are the registers. And so as a result, that's why Capcom had really solid games early on, because they could fucking read Japanese. And Sega, like, first-party games were great, and anything beyond that's why the third-party market was just so under-supported, because literally the hardware was incomprehensible.
Good old cultural bias.
Yep.
The answer always.
There you go.
That was really insightful. We all showed up to your panel.
Please come to my panel tomorrow.
Yeah, come to David's panel tomorrow. What time is it?
I can't promise I won't show up drunk.
Oh, better.
Dude, it said 5.
Our show's at 4:30.
Oh, touche. Alright. Well, yeah, go see the Blast Processors play in the jam room.
We might be like done in time for me to like fucking Kool-Aid Man, the wall.
Just a little bit.
Wait, no!
The way they usually put the context of it is
As a group, what do you
Alright.
have
PS1
to
was
Metroid
easy
games?
to program.
What
for,
is our
and then
thought
the
on the
PS2
Metroid games?
wasn't.
I'll
And then-
defer to Mr. Dude who bought Metroid Fusion today.
I have bought Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, we all
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my deep dark secrets as a gamer. So I have never really gotten into Super Metroid. And
Go for it. That's
Please, Dave. Please.
and it's not that I'm trying. I have
What do you
tried.
say about Ocarina of Time?
Metroid is my favorite.
I don't know what
Actually-
it is, but like Metroid, Super Metroid is one of those games that I absolutely want to love so badly, but every single time I pop it in, I just don't see what all the fuss is about. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something wrong with me. There's probably something. There probably is somewhere, but like it's. I just don't find it as enjoyable as some people. Now,
You're fired from Retroware, by the way.
I don't do this shit.
Anyway, sit down and finish your thought.
But yeah, I mean, all the other Metroid games I like, though, fair enough. I mean, I love Metroid Prime. I just bought Metroid Fusion today because I'm very interested in playing it. So I love the Metroid series as a concept because I love Samus Aran as a character. I totally respect the series for what it's done as far as open exploration. I love that style of gaming because I also love the way it's been implemented in Castlevania. Symphony of the Night is one of my favorite games of all time. So I have to owe credit to Metroid for bringing that influence into the fold. So I love Metroid, but it's just Metroid. It's Super Metroid. So
But, like, She has no real character like you are her, though. Like in every Metroid game except for Other M.
That's a debate. That's a debate.
And the very end of Fusion, she just starts talking out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, out of nowhere.
But also the intro to Super Metroid, she does have.
I mean, in the intro,
Speaking to the robot penis.
In the intro to Super Metroid, Samus does have a very stagnant kind of, very bland monologue saying these are the events that happen, and that still kind of leaves as a tabula rasa for you to project your own image of her onto it. It's only Other M where they really start getting her personality.
Yeah.
Okay, I could get really pretentious if you want me to.
Please, I'd love
Hey, why not? We're here.
All right. Okay, so here's the thing. So, like, just because a video game character does not have a clearly written characterization within the script of a game does not mean they do not have personality. Samus had a personality based on the very first appearance she had in the NES. It was all dictated by the gameplay and by the environment. You were told to believe, or at least led to believe, as the player, that Samus is a lone wolf who's taking on this mission, who's going on this dank, dark planet that's in the middle of the galaxy, in the middle of nowhere, all on her own, and she's just willing to take on all this stuff by herself. And more to the point, you do not know that she's a woman from the very beginning. It's only revealed at the very end, and she is clearly defined from the very beginning, not for her gender, not for her past, not for anything, but just by her actions. And which is why I think a lot of people have issues with Other M because they feel like kind of overwrites that.
Alright, wait, hold on. One more thought about Metroid before we move on. Metroid Zero Missions is better than Super Metroid. I'm agreeing with that. Now, everyone is going, well,
For the stealth.
it built upon Super Metroid. It does everything better that Super Metroid tried to do.
I'd call it the best game on GBA.
There you go. There you go.
Also,
I'd call it the best game ever. Video game of the year, all years.
I actually have a question for us. What's a game that you tried so hard to like, but you just couldn't?
I think I just answered that.
Okay, so you just try.
That's pretty deep, man.
For me, it's Okami. I can't get into Okami.
What the hell is that? No. Yeah, it's the game with the wolf, right?
Yeah, I can't get into it. It looks fantastic. It plays like a Zelda game, but I played the Wii version, and that version sucks shit.
Wait, hold on. Wait, there's different versions from the Wii version?
Yeah, there's the PS2 one, and then there's the PSP one.
Yeah, it came from the PS2 first.
I only play Nintendo things, so
That's exactly how I feel about it. The controls are just so weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the celestial brush with the Wii remote. I mean, if I probably played it on PS2 and if they speed up the text a little bit more, then I'd probably give it another shot. But
Wait, there's a difference here. Do you like the game, or have you just not finished it?
I mean, I've tried multiple times to just try to keep going and getting into it, but I don't know, it's just not grabbing me the way I was hoping it would.
Oh, David, and speak more into your ska microphone, by the way.
Like this?
No one knows what ska is anymore.
What the fuck is that?
I don't see any trumpets.
Yes, you had a question.
One thing I just want to say about Metroid 4 is, like, strictly speaking, and this is more from a marketing point of view, it's for Metroid, it really is just, objectivity is impossible, but it's just an enhanced Metroid. Very little, I mean, they added some gameplay, but I think that would be a good argument for why, it's, why you might not think that it's really that special, because, super, that's all they were really going for, and there's quite a lot of titles that are
I've thought about it.
on the Super Nintendo.
I've thought about the exact reasons why I couldn't get into Super Metroid. I think a lot of it has to do with, like I said, Symphony of the Night was one of my favorite games of all time, and that game kind of took the formula of Metroid and kind of tinkered it in its own way. One of the ways it did that was by adding a whole lot more items to find than you would find in a Metroid game. So you found a lot more potions, you found a lot more power-ups, you found a lot more health upgrades just lying around. So it was a lot more about instant gratification than Metroid. So in a way, it's really all perspective. Like, do you like something that's quick and easy, it's just rapid kind of progression, or do you like earning that progression like what you would get from a Metroid game?
Are there any other kind of games like that you just can't get into? Like you tried.
Okay.
It just doesn't work for you.
Okay, this will have to explain Pokemon, and I played a lot of Pokemon. I played Red, I played Yellow, I played Gold. Then I stopped playing it for various reasons. Because an RPG that takes a lot of effort to get into, right? And you really have to invest yourself. And I was just doing too many things like high school and shit like that. Then after that, playing music. I came back to it playing X and Y, and I just felt like I missed so much of Pokemon that I just felt almost lost, and I couldn't lose myself in the experience.
I feel the same way about that, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I fell off Pokemon right after I finished, before Gold and Silver came out, I was just kind of done with it. I was maybe second or third grade, I think. But I didn't start playing Pokemon again until I got Pokemon Sapphire, and I'm like, wow, these games still are really fun. And then I got Diamond when it came out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still into this. But then I kind of fell off again, and then I got Y, and I'm like, I feel the same way you do.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny, James, that you bring up that RPGs take a lot of investment, and Pokemon is designed from the ground up to be the RPG that requires almost no investment whatsoever, at least from the beginning. Pokemon is designed to be RPG 101. So it is designed to be simplistic as possible, to appeal and to be clear to children. That is the target audience. And I think, I went through the exact kind of thing you did last year with Pokemon X and Y, because I was all gung-ho about trying to get back into Pokemon, because I was huge into Pokemon as a kid. I love Pokemon. But as an adult, it's hard for me to stick with it, because to its credit, it's always known who its core audience is. And like I said, it's children. There's nothing wrong with that. But as an adult,
I have a credit card and whatever. I'm to play by your rules.
Microtransaction that shit.
As an adult, my tastes have changed. I started with Pokemon, then I moved on to other RPGs. I played Final Fantasy, I played BioWare games, I played The Elder Scrolls. So I progressed. So to actually go back to Pokemon after so many years, it was just felt like a step backwards. Even though I still admit that they're still enjoyable games, they just don't hold much interest for me right now. Is where I am in my life right now.
There's so many games that spawned ever since Pokemon that does the whole monster collecting thing. Is there anything besides Pokemon and I guess Digimon? I never really got into that. But is there any other games that did that for them?
Yo, Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher was
shit. Why can't we have?
Disc.
All right. Why can't we have a Monster Rancher game for the 3DS where when you street pass something they become a monster or whatever? Wouldn't that be sick?
Shit.
My god.
I was never so interested.
Give me money.
Pretty much what you said. Who made Monster Rancher? How do you feel about Dragon?
Alright. I will pose some questions to the panelists just for a second. Alright. Top 3 video game soundtracks, starting with Nick.
Oh dear God.
Legend of Mystical Ninja.
No!
While I love Goemon, music isn't that memorable. For me, the stuff that sticks with me is mostly, I mean, like, obviously you have your classic Zelda, Metroid, Mario. Mega Man 2 though, I can listen to that like day in, day out. And I know it's like the most typical answer, but they took hair metal and made it into 8-bit and gave that to me, and it's perfect. So.
Yeah, well, most importantly, we like Mega Man 2. A lot of the beats and the structure, like, gave influence to a lot of music of the electronic artists of today, actually. So, but yeah, top 3. I'll say at number 1 is Final Fantasy IV. And a hush went over the audience because they were so impressed.
So comfortable.
At his choice. Mega Man 3 and Mario 3.
Good thing coming for you.
I don't even need to explain myself.
That's a really hard one. You said top 3.
Top 3.
Top 3 of all time.
Well, for me personally, off the top of my head, Final Fantasy IX, I would have to say, is probably my favorite soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I readily admit that it's not technically like the best, but just for me personally, it holds a very special place in my heart. So yeah, aside from that, if I'm going for sentimental value, the Super Mario Brothers for NES, that's just classic. It's pretty much all video game music, in my opinion, starts there and just grows outward. Then aside from that, I gotta agree with Mega Man 2. I mean, that was brilliant. So
No Mega Man 3?
nothing else needs to be said.
No Mega Man 3, Mega Man 2?
4.
Fuck Mega Man.
Actually, Mega Man 5 is pretty good.
5's a great soundtrack. Fucking yeah.
Okay,
It's way too easy.
okay, the weird thing about Mega Man music, Mega Man 10, every level is written by a different composer.
But
I believe it has the weakest music.
and that game is the weakest level design too. So.
Definitely, yeah.
But 9 is super solid.
9 is probably some of the best music.
9 soundtrack is
Like-
top notch.
Exactly. Anyways, let's move on to the Sega Saturn trash you're gonna pick.
So first off, ActRaiser on SNES.
Oh my god!
Use up the
Yes.
shield though.
Yeah.
I'm showing it Sega
That
roots.
is,
That first level theme was pretty awesome, but probably my favorite song for that was when you're building the town of Fillmore.
Yeah.
And just that little tune that plays over it, like that'll stay in my head forever.
yeah, the Naked Angel music.
Yeah. And then after that, a guilty pleasure of mine is not Sonic R. But
Sonic Racing.
Daytona USA 2 actually
Oh.
has a fucking amazing soundtrack. But probably my personal favorite would have to be Super Monkey Ball 2.
Really?
Yeah, that, not very many games do this, but Monkey Ball 2 soundtrack sold me on a GameCube. Like, I played Monkey Ball 2 at a friend's house and like, I fucking want a GameCube just to hear this music. It's so good. Like, I don't know who the composer was, unfortunately, but the developers were Amusement Vision, who were made up of developers who made the first Daytona games. F-Zero GX also did that. F-Zero GX also has a fucking awesome soundtrack.
I think we're also being a little bit limited here in our definition of what a soundtrack is, because video game music is growing. So like you can do a whole lot with it. It's not just about melody. It's not just about having a catchy tune. You can do like I said, you can do a whole lot with it. Yeah, not just.
Wait,
like,
say that to the microphone.
Sorry, adaptive music is a new thing that's going on as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Because like the people at the back when I'm here, like,
yeah.
because like there's 75 people here.
So yeah, Super Monkey Ball 2 soundtrack so goddamn good. I will just go listen to it. Like,
right. My point about what I was saying though was that you've got things like the Silent Hill series, for example, which they've got marvelous soundtracks, but they're not what you would typically think of as video game music because they're all about atmosphere and they're basically just like a haunted house, you know? But that doesn't mean it's any less well done or any less creative.
Well, yeah, well, that's one thing with like old video game soundtracks, you had to hear like 10 seconds for hours and hours and hours, where now it gets in like, the music gets interesting because like it'll change as your character moves and interacts with the environment, you know, it has to swell and, you know, and everything like that, so.
Yeah, like Metroid Prime is also actually a really good example of that. Like all the different themes in those areas, like they
Actually, just
set
Metroid in
the
general.
mood so
Yeah. One thing I will say about Chrono Trigger, the music for that, sometimes when I have sex, I have it to God's theme.
Yeah!
Nick had a point.
So the thing with that soundtrack, Chrono Trigger, was apparently the guy who did that was, I guess, like a sound engineer or something like that, and he was trying to convince Square to let him do a soundtrack, and they're like, no, just keep doing sound effects and stuff like that shit, I don't know. And he's like, I'll threaten to leave the company if you won't let me do a soundtrack. He's like, fine, fucking do a soundtrack, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he made that.
Well, no, and he worked on it so hard that he put himself in the hospital doing it, and
That's hilarious.
It was like 25, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. No, like when you're doing something like, and that's an amazing soundtrack for someone to do by themselves. Like that's crazy. There's like there's 62 themes.
Yeah. And I believe he actually, I think this was the same guy, but he didn't do it like melodically. He like programmed the music with like by code, right? Like I forgot where I heard this.
Well, yeah, well that's a whole different thing because like the interface of putting the music in is totally different than anything you would write with music. Like it's not like you're sitting there with a piano just like Chrono's theme, din din din, right? Like you have to put it in. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Family Tracker. That's might be the best example of it. Just look that up. I'm not going to explain it, but you have to put it in the way this guy.
So
did.
yeah. Pre-Family Tracker, pre any tools where you could actually track your audio. But what happened is that a composer would literally sit at their piano and write music. And then they'd be like, oh shit, how do I actually translate this to the cartridge in which I'm doing it? And then their programmers, their programming team would come to them and say, well, you got these limited suite of tools with which you can take your creative vision and translate it to our particular format. And that is usually some kind of crude, take your notes, write in a notebook, and convert it using this formula into some kind of register, and then we'll code that for you. And it was horribly inefficient, but it was at least a way to express themselves. And like one of the things that Tommy Tallarico did and was famous for was forcing his actual developers to create a MIDI interface so that his MIDI keyboards could interface to a cartridge and then that could actually record something. But before that, it was basically all notepaper.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to point out these motherfuckers, the blast processors, they know what they're talking about because they work in video games and so they're. Nick, you had something to say. This is a good segue.
Yeah, I wanted to just mention that I also, based on the Gatos theme, paid James 15 silver points every time we have sex. I want to give a shout out to Darren Korb with the with the composition of Bastion and Transistor soundtracks. Both of those are fantastic. You don't even need them in a video game sense because they're that modern, but you can just listen to them and enjoy them on their own, which is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, actually, wait. How about really good indie game soundtracks? Mutant Mudds.
Yeah!
Get it on your Wii U or Steam.
Or 3DS.
Or 3DS.
I'm sure no one needs to be told this, but Shovel Knight is free.
Yeah!
There's your audience.
There's your audience right there. I bought the soundtrack for Shovel Knight before I even touched the actual game. That was that.
Yeah. And you know, we're all at MAGFest. Bert helped build MAGFest to like what it is now. Like he was one of the original dudes, right? So like he was one of the original musicians. But yes.
Yeah.
That's not say that. Anyways, yeah. So any indie games, David?
There's one on my mind, but I can't remember the name of the game. I'm trying to remember it.
Is it Freedom Planet? Because that's a fucking fantastic soundtrack.
The Lovely Planet is actually good. I think that was very good.
Yeah, okay, so yeah.
Lovely Planet just came out on Steam. Get that soundtrack. It's like the game is $6. It's like Doom, all cute. It's awesome.
Wasn't Cave Story all made by one dude?
Yes.
That's
The
crazy.
entire game,
Like,
soundtrack, and art.
yeah, that's insane. Also, Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures by Screw Attack. That was all done by one dude. Yeah.
One I find interesting is Ikaru, that is
Oh,
yes.
What?
That's another one I was about to mention, actually.
Quite a
dude.
versatile guy. He can direct the game and write the music.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So, any other questions pertaining to any sort of video?
Where can I
games?
get your latest material, and can I pay money for it?
All right. Yes. So I have CDs. Not. Oh, well, I have a couple of CDs left. You can go to a band or epicgamemusic.com/bandcamp or something. Anyway, just Google Epic Game Music. I'm sure the Bandcamp will come up. You can get my album for free right now. I have a new album coming out in December now. It's supposed to be out in a couple of days, but it's been moved back because I'm trying to make it awesome. And there might be 2 other accompanying albums.
I've toiled many long hours in the mines. Can I use the money that I've earned toiling in the mines to spend it on your new upcoming album?
Yes, it's going to be on many platforms. It's going to be Louder, Spotify, iTunes, and a lot of things. So that's going to be game changing for me for sure. Oh yeah, and one other thing I want to give a shout out because this is also being filmed. Have you guys ever heard of a show called Game Theory?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Matt Pat gave me a shout out and link to my channel on the latest episode, and my channel is 3 times as big in the last 24 hours and continues to grow.
You should consult a
So
doctor.
that just blew my mind. So Matt Pat, if you're watching this video, thank you. But like that is just crazy.
Did you get him to come here?
Sorry?
Did you get him to come here? He lives in LA, I heard.
You know, yeah, no, he lives out in California. Because I'm also the concert director for Con Bravo, which is a big convention in Canada. I tried to get them to come out to Con Bravo. They were originally supposed to come, but something came up for him. But I got Gaijin Doombuk, which is also on his channel, doing Game Exchange. He's a really nice guy too. But yeah, so hopefully they will come out to the next MAGFest in January. I don't know. Those guys are super busy. Like they have 3 million subscribers. Like that's a very overpowered channel. So like they have to treat that with extreme caution of going places because they have to throw all their effort into it. Anyways, question.
Oh, mentioning Bandcamp, it made me think of this. Have you heard, speaking of indie soundtracks, you ever heard this?
Well, I'm just looking at you, this
Gunman
convolving
Clive?
classic.
Gunman Clive,
It's a
yeah.
great fucking game.
What's this?
Gunman Clive, done by one guy named Arnie Ornberg, and he sold his soundtrack for $1 on
Really?
Bandcamp. It's really a good game, especially for Mega Man fans.
The games that Mega Man like, it's very good.
But the soundtrack, more than anything, really surprised me. I'm like, one guy, it's,
Yep.
it's really
Yeah.
good.
All right, so we're coming to the end of the panel. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, especially people who just randomly walked in here or we're coming from Ron St. John or whatever. So yeah, thank you very much.
Right here.
And you two and that guy come up here because I'm going to give you a CD because you've been here the whole time. You guys walked in yeah, exactly. This row from there back, that was crazy. Anyways, so thank you very much.
Also,
Oh yes, we have panels coming tomorrow. Retroware TV panel, 1 p.m. Panel room 2. Keeping it retro back in here.
Yep.
2 p.m. And say it in your Dr. Saturday voice.
The Centerology panel will be
it's in here at
this room at
4 or 5, I forget.
5 to 6.
Wait, are the blast processors playing them?
Oh yeah. Hold on. If I had that voice, I tell you, man. I tell you. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, yeah.
20 silver points.
So and go see the blast processors tomorrow, 4:25 at the Jammer. No, but you gotta tell people earlier.
Just say 420.
Go with 420.
Yeah, 4:20.
429.
Oh, you're gonna be in the jam space?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, so check them out. They're really awesome. All right? Thank you very much. Let's get rowdy!